The holo charts. 6329 yalms. And we have some more people. Whoa. It's Dalamud. That surely cannot be Dalamud. Where are we? The final resting place of Nail Van Darnus. This is a grave for the undeserving. And for the crime of trespassing upon my god's sanctuary, this place shall serve as your grave too. No. In the hour of his failure, Nail Van Darnus felt the currents of ether begin to bear away his essence. But before oblivion could claim the last of him, a divine will reached out, and I was born. Then did the words of my God resound in mine ears. Bring unto mine enemies crushing defeat, that they might know despair without end, and claim thee thus the victory of which thou wert once denied. Holy shit. Also, Nail is a lady. I didn't know that. 'Twould seem that what little remained of Nail's essence when Bahamut plucked him from the brink of oblivion, and the result was this strange simulacrum. Nevertheless, her aura bespeaks great power. She channels the rage of the Elder Primal himself. Lord Bahamut, thy wish is my command. None shall scape thine unquenchable fury. Come, ye dull, unthinking beasts, bare your teeth. They will avail you naught in the calamity to come. Somebody has a Moogle weapon. Alright, let's do this. I'm gonna turn off Iron Will because we have a level 80 tank who can do this way better than I can. Ooh, this music is cool. What's going on? What do we do? Oh, interesting. Dalamud spawns. Well, they did say this is like a holo deck or something. Okay, I am now being targeted by something. Ow. Ow! Oh, I didn't know it exploded. Whoops. Oh shit, she's using Mega Flare. And I'm dead again. I probably should have just hit hell out of ground the second I came up. It's cool, at least we get to watch the fight. Oh, never mind, it's gone. It's done. And it was just a hologram the whole time. Uh-oh. Poor creature, would that you had never been born. You had surrendered your physical form and collapsed into ether, but Bahamut denied you your death, and imprisoned what little was left of you in an ethereal shell resembling, what I wonder, images from your memory perhaps? But that shell is now broken, and your primal deity seems disinclined to sustain your existence. My primal deity, I kneel to no icon. What need have I to beg the favor of such filth? I am Nail Van Darmus, legatus of the 7th Legion. No. A moment. My thoughts are clouded, and this body is not my own. Could it be that you spoke the truth? Was I ensorcelled by the Lesser Moon's ancient prisoner? That will not happen again. You speak as if Bahamut is no longer controlled you, but that's impossible. Once a primal ensnares a mind, it cannot be freed. Unless Bahamut simply relinquished his claim, what need has he of a broken spirit bound for the ethereal realm? Oh, that I should fall prey to the very influence I sought to purge from the land. The irony is galling. But do not assume that all of my actions were chosen for me. It was my will that the Meteor Project be resurrected, mine and none other. Yet it seems that my grand designs were destined to fail. Even the ungentle release of death was denied me. Now, please, you must tell us more of the Calamity. I must know the truth of what has befallen the world, and what has become of my grandfather, Archon Louis Sois. You are Louis Sois' grandchild. Ah, the fates are generous with their cruelty. Continue on if you would have your answers. They await you at the terminus of your path, but know that this path leads only to despair. The light of truth was ever harsh and unforgiving. Why do you say this? Grandfather will be freed once we put a stop to Bahamut's restoration, will he not? What are you not telling us? Steel yourself, child. Only unbending resolve and merciless strength can conquer what lies ahead. The weak can do naught but weep under the pall of their own misery, as did the frail child I once was. Oh! Silence, chattering raven. Your wretched wings are broken, and you shall soar no more. My crimson moon, your brilliance sears mine eyes. Now who did that? I recognize that voice, Foxy, but never would he say such words. Come, let us finish what we came here to do. All will be put aright when the final hulk lies dormant. Grandfather will be himself again, I'm sure of it. I don't know, Alisae. I wouldn't have such hope. Bahamut regenerates more swiftly than I had anticipated. Let us hope that disabling this coil will serve to slow that process. The display seems different, but the controls appear to mimic the mechanism we found in the Lanosian Hulk. It shouldn't pose a problem. Foxy, forgive me. The moment I beheld Nail's transformation, hope wilted in my heart. I did not believe you could stand against the manifestation of Bahamut's power. For all your fabled strength and skill, I felt certain that I was going to lose you, just as I lost my grandfather. Even he, a man for whom naught seemed impossible, was humbled before Bahamut's might. And yet look how far we've come. 'Tis incredible the feats of which we are capable, our boundless potential. 'Twas this capacity for greatness, I believe, that grandfather so dearly wished to protect. With all that has occurred, I have come to understand that much at least. "'Tis done. Shall we make our way back to the surface and gather our thoughts? I have seen much that will benefit from Rianje's learned perspective." Uh-oh. Oh! Grandfather, it is you. Then why? Abandon this quest, Alisae. I will not countenance further sabotage of the Coils. Sabotage? But we must disable the Coils if we are to prevent Bahamut's revival. Your defiance seals your fate. No, you are not who I thought you were. My grandfather would never. Foolish girl. How could the White Raven allow herself to be bested by such sniveling opponents? Listen well. We all exist at the pleasure of one divine will, and the word of Lord Bahamut is absolute. Scurry back to your holes, vermin. You have been granted this one reprieve, but should you be so foolish as to crawl into my lord's domain again, I will crush the life from you myself. The light in grandfather's eyes. He has suffered the same fate as Nail. He was tempered too. My grandsire is no more. That was naught but a phantom that profanes his noble memory. This mockery must be expunged. I will not rest until I free grandfather's soul from Bahamut's tyranny. Do you hear me, Bahamut? Your time is at an end. Eorzea and my family will be avenged. Ooh, that was a long cutscene. Alisae. Truly it is wonderful to escape that stifling air and to return to northern Thanalan again, it would appear. I must thank you, Foxy. Were it not for your bravery, I strongly doubt that I would be standing here now. But you need not tarry on my account. The danger has passed. Pray go on ahead and apprise Rianje of all that has occurred. I will join you anon. My thoughts are yet unruly, and I would rest here a while. Okay, just don't take too long. Back to the Waking Sands. And yeah, these all these people who are helping us, even though they're level 80, level 70, because Sicario, Thrax, whatever, and I are first timers here. They also get 100 tomestones per dungeon. So it's not like they're coming in doing this for nothing. They're getting rewarded for it as well, which is great. I'm really happy that they're getting something out of it. Urianger, we're back. At least I'm back. The triumphant hero doth return. Thine eyes speak of the dread task's completion. The second coil now lieth dormant. Yet I sense the tidings thou bearest are not altogether glad. Pray tell me, what ill hath cast the shadow which falleth across thy brow? It is really not easy to talk like Urianger. An old foe and an old friend. So 'twas but the ethereal shadow of Master Louis Soir that Lady Alisae beheld, an unnatural conjuration enthralled to the elder primal. That the fiend should deign to choose him of all men, even in full knowledge of the shade's true nature, I would be hard-pressed to weather such a confrontation. Yet what agonies must the young mistress have endured! Such torment did she ne'er deserve. Mayhap 'twere better if Lady Alisae did absent herself from the future forays into the coils. I have come too far to surrender to grief, Urianger. My lady, I am resolved to defeat these fiends, and naught shall sway me from my path. Now let us peer more deeply into the well of our discoveries. As you wish, my lady. By your leave, I would first speak of the coil's late guardian, Nael Van Darnus. Van Darnus was a legatus of the Garlean Empire who strove to bring about Eorzea's final destruction, only to fall even as the sixth sun did set. If thou hast heard tales of the White Raven, then it is he of whom they speak. Aye, he, I say, for Nael was certainly no maid. The noble house of Van Darnus, as we discovered all too late, had long safeguarded the wisdom of ancient Alag. 'Twas thus that the legatus came to learn the true nature of Dalamud, and to seek to employ the Red Moon as a weapon against Eorzea. But the Crystal Tower, and the mechanisms required to command the satellite, yet lay hidden beneath the ground, compelling Nael to construct a far less subtle mechanism. And in his first faltering attempts to communicate with Dalamud, he did likely rouse the satellite's slumbering prisoner. Thenceforth did the White Raven's soul belong to Bahamut. He was fortunate indeed to acquire so powerful a thrall by chance. 'Tis little wonder he was so loath to part with him. Why let a simple thing like death deprive one of so useful a pawn? Though we may accuse him of bungling Van Darnus's resurrection, I dare say Bahamut was as content to have a handmaiden as a manservant. I only hope that the two thralls we encountered were the extent of this flock. Yet I cannot help but dwell on Nael's words, those beloved children of whom he spoke. I assumed at first that he referred to the moon's beastly guardians, but should Bahamut have enslaved other mortals, we must needs first remove this source of worship. Otherwise, our efforts to disable the coils should be for naught. Forgive me mine indelicacy, my lady. Thou art wise indeed to speak of expunging the primal's thralls, but canst thou truly pursue a course which would cost thee thine own grandsire? My heart and mind are as one on this matter. Grandfather's salvation can be won by only a single method, the destruction of Bahamut and aught that might serve to sustain him. Foxy, while Urianger and I endeavor to ascertain the existence of any further thralls, I suggest you grant yourself a moment's respite. Rest assured that I will contact you the moment I have need of your inimitable talents. That we have achieved so much I owe to you. I fear, however, that our trials have barely begun. Though time has dulled the pain of thy passing, I find that I am wounded afresh. Master Louis Soir, what good shall come of this unending search for knowledge and truth? Long have I believed the pursuit of such treasures to be the duty of every true Charlayan. Yet when each new revelation serveth only to heap further anguish upon those whom we would fain protect, must we truly reach for more. So you found your resolve, dear sister. Will you now find a use for the secret, for the key that only you and I hold? Given our familial propensity for curiosity, you would do well to remember that keys may serve to seal doors as well as to unlock them, and Bahamut is a most unwelcome guest to whom the door should never have been opened. Indeed. Fragments of Truth. Man is wont to cast light wheresoever secrets lie hid in darkness. Though that which he illuminateth seldom bringeth him joy, so it is with such unhappy truths as Bahamut's immense shadow doth conceal. Yet ever onward forgeth Mistress Alisae, undeterred by the burden of knowledge that weigheth heavily on her heart. 'Tis a perilous path she hath chosen, and a painful one. I prithee, Foxy, remain by her side as her valiant blade, that she might see her quest to its conclusion. Foxy, it is well that you are here. My lady, how might I serve you this day? I have met with some difficulty in my mission, Urianger, and I should be grateful for your counsel. As you know, Bahamut's physical form is regenerating beneath the Cartano Flats even as we speak. If we are to prevent his return, we must needs disable the 2 remaining internment hulls that sustain him. Every moment our mission is delayed, the realm is pushed closer to the brink of destruction. Alas, though I have determined the locations of the fragments of Dalamud leading to the hulks, I have been unable to find a way to enter them. And gaining admittance is but the first step in your perilous undertaking. When last thou descended into Bahamut's subterranean fastness, thou didst discover, didst thou not, that the dread primal has bound the shade of Nail Van Darnus unto his will, and though thou didst, consign the fallen legatist into blessed oblivion, thou mayst recall that the piteous wretch was not alone. Doubt not but that Bahamut's other thralls shall seek to hinder thy passage. You can say his name, Urianger. I have not forgotten that my grandfather is waiting for us. My lady, I would remind you, as I must oft remind myself, that the man whom we both loved and revered is no more. What remaineth is but a shade which defileth his memory. The vile verbiage that spilleth from his lips must not be heeded, for it cometh not from your grandsire, but from Bahamut himself. You need not worry, Urianger. Come what may, I will not stray from the course. I will not let grandfather's sacrifice be in vain. But mere words will not take us whither we must go. As I said, I have been unable to find a way to enter the fragments of Dalamud. My lady, might I suggest that you visit the fragments again in Foxy's company? Full oft hath the Warrior of Light set events in motion by virtue of her presence alone. 'Tis possible she may do so again. I, the while, shall search for answers of mine own. By our combined efforts, full sure I am that the path shall be revealed to us ere long. Were it someone else, I should question the wisdom of such advice, yet I cannot deny that what you say about Foxy is true. Very well, I shall do as you suggest. Assuming you have no objections, of course. Good. Now we seek entry to 2 fragments of Dalamud. One lies at the Burning Wall in eastern Thanalan, and the other at the Singing Shards in Mordona. I left an assistant at each location with instructions to continue searching for a means of ingress. It is not impossible that they could have since found something useful for us. Let us begin by visiting my man at the Burning Wall. Dex, I think it was. Oh my god, there's so much talking. And I don't mind that, except I've got a full party of people waiting on me. Of course, they send me to the longest run ever, but we get to visit this pretty place again. Here he is. I say, you are not Mistress Game. Are you not Mistress Games, my lady's most faithful companion? Sinus, madam, at your service, and may I say what an honor it is to meet you. How goes the survey, Dex? Ahem, my lady, it shames me to say that I have found no viable path to the fragment. Though it stands there before our very eyes, the way thither has thus far proven impassable. When the fragment fell and pierced the land, it caused a prodigious amount of aether to spew forth. 'Twas this that gave rise to the land's twisted lay, which seems destined to thwart our efforts. Even were there an opening to exist, I fear that we would struggle to reach it. We cannot give up. Keep trying. So near and yet so far. While it avails us not to stand here and stare at the thing, let us away to Mordona and try the other fragment. Perhaps Sinus has fared better. Upon that note, my lady, there is something I must tell you. I am sorry to report that I lost contact with my brother just over a bell ago. As you know, the singing shards are home to many fell creatures, ogres among them. While I do not wish to cause you undue alarm, I fear something unspeakable may have happened to Dex. What? Why didn't you give me strength? We must hurry to my assistant's aid, Foxy. I like that she's getting their names wrong, too. Well, that was fucking waste of time. God, I hate stuff like that. Am I really stuck? Okay, let's help this dude out. No, 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 no. Okay. Thank you, adventurer. For a moment there, I feared that my bones were to be ground up and used to bake bread. I am relieved to see you are unharmed. It was wrong of me to press such a dangerous task upon you. My lady, your worries are wasted on me. 'Twas nothing at all, I assure you. Ahem, if it pleases you, I shall report my findings. As you can see, though the tip of the fragment is exposed, the rest is encased in rock and crystal, rendering it impossible to enter the structure. We might try excavating the area around the fragment, but that is like to take time, and there really is no telling how deep we may need to dig before we find a suitable point of ingress. As such, I am forced to conclude that gaining entry to this fragment is unrealistic. Forgive me, my lady. Confound it, we're losing precious time. What are we to do now? 'Tis I, Urianger. Glad tidings have I for thee and my lady. For a blessing, a way hath been found by which thou mayest enter the remaining fragments of Dalamud. Pray escort Mistress Alisae to the ceruleum processing plant in northern Thanalan. There all shall be made clear. Urianger found a way? Then we must go to him at once. All this running around is so pointless. Oh, fuck you, dude. I'm in a hurry. Urianger. Make it quick. Mine apologies for summoning you thus from afar, my lady, but 'tis here that your journey may finally begin. I did wonder. To my knowledge, there are no fragments in northern Thanalan. Nor are you mistaken, my lady, yet a pathway doth exist, one which you yourself have made use of in the past. At the conclusion of your several forays into the binding coil, 'twas at the crystal formation which lieth to the north of this place that you did emerge, was it not? Yes, an ethereal stream bore us back to the surface. That much I had surmised. Are you suggesting that we can use it to return underground? Even if that were possible, would it simply not bear us back to those places which we've already explored? Indeed, it need not, my lady. Pray allow me to explain. Upon the evidence of your experience, that it seemeth plain that two intermittent hulks may share the self-same ethereal egress. From this, we did infer that others may be connected in like wise. Thus did we labor long to verify the existence of further tributaries to the self-same stream, in which task we were at length successful. 'Twas then but a matter of arriving at a solution to the problem of traveling to the unattuned destination. That one might reach what we might call the headwater, we propose to employ a modified aetherite, which serveth to amplify such ripples as do originate from said source. By focusing one's essence upon these ripples, it should be possible to make the journey. Yet be fairly warned, my lady, as with all untried modes of ethereal travel, that method entails considerable danger. Merely to attempt the voyage could cost you your life. That is a risk I am willing to take. You are brilliant, Urianger. But I am curious, did you have assistance in forming this plan? I could not help but notice your repeated use of the word we, unless you have taken to using the majestic plural in our absence. Nay, my lady, as you have correctly surmised, I was not alone in this endeavor. Meaning there are others who are aware of our mission. Well, it cannot be helped now. Preventing Bahamut's return is what matters. If some secrecy must be sacrificed to achieve our goal, then so be it. Oh my glob. So that must be the modified aetherite. But what are the immortal flames doing here? Those men may be sworn flames of Ul'dah, but they are first and foremost faithful retainers of House Leveilleur. Alphinaud, so it was you who was helping Urianger. Who else could it have been, dear sister? Lest you worry, I have no intention of making the details of your venture public. Like you, I would prefer to avoid causing a panic. But given that which is at stake, namely the survival of the realm, one must be willing to accept help when it is offered. Would you not agree? At the very least, do not be cross with Urianger. 'Twas at my behest that he keeps silent. We'll speak later. Pray forgive me, my lady, but knowing full well your intent, I judged it meet that Master Alphinaud be informed. Though your grandsire hath become Bahamut's thrall, his noble blood courseth yet through both your veins, and if he must needs be struck down... Do you hear that, Alphinaud? I mean to strike down grandfather, and when I have done so, I shall banish Bahamut to the ether. Nothing you say will sway me from my course. I will protect Eorzea, and I will uphold grandfather's legacy. Grandfather's legacy? So you still do not know what you yourself desire. Your actions are still driven by borrowed resolve. Borrowed resolve? What does that have to do with anything? Protecting Eorzea was grandfather's goal, and we made it ours, both of us. That is why we came here, unless you've forgotten. Gods forbid I should ever forget, Alisae, but you misunderstand. I do not question your resolve, only whence it came. If it were your own, you would be able to tell me precisely why you desire so fervently to protect Eorzea. Yet you cannot, for it is not your resolve, but grandfather's. You may struggle to see the difference, but borrowed resolve shall never be as strong as that which springs from within. But let us speak of this another time. For now, preventing Bahamut's return is all that matters. To be plain, I have no objection to striking down whatever is left of grandfather. Know, however, that I will be accompanying you this time. As a son of House Leveilleur, I would be present for his final moments. Very well, you may join us on one condition. I make the decisions. If it pleases my lady, the name's Erkenrad. Oh my god. Our preparations are just about complete. When you're ready to embark on your mission, just give me the word. I'll be waiting for you at the cerulean processing plant. More walking. My god. This has been the longest quest chain ever. Pay no heed to my brother. You can rely on me. We have come this far together, you and I, and together we shall see our journey to its end. I've been waiting for you. I'm pleased to say the Aetherite's primed and ready. As you know, the remaining internment hulks are connected to the fragments. Yeah, we already know this shit. Okay? I've waited long enough. Jesus fucking Christ. Fuck, finally. I don't know how long we've been waiting. Or they've been waiting, rather. But... oh, man. I sure hope they're not cross with me. My voice is getting raw. Alright, and I just had to plug my headset in. It was running low on battery. I hope my mic's still working. So this is how it looks on the inside. The internment hulk still functions. The teleportation was a success. We are come to the right place. There's no telling how much further Bahamut has regenerated since we last beheld him. Let us make haste up to the main bridge and deactivate the coil. There were receptacles similar to these in previous Hulk. Those held chimerical beasts, but only the Alligans know what other abominations may be sleeping within. They may well be part of Dalamud's internal defense. We must stay on our guard at all times. Alright, enough staring. Let's go. I hate to get so impatient with this, but my god. It's like the Alexander cutscenes, they just don't fucking end. When this says final coil, I hope this is like the last time we have to fucking do a quest. But enough being frustrated. We're here now. And my group has not abandoned me because they're good people. See how insane that is? That it takes such little time to get to the end of this, but it took me such a long time. Oh, those are dragons. That's a dragon. Maybe. Some kind of bioweapon. Imdagud. What a name. Uh-oh. It's invulnerable. I guess we have to kill its kids. Which is a terrible thing. Oof. Yeah, but it's dead. Yay. Ooh, I want that QB mask. By the 12 dragons, and so many. We were aware that the Alligans possessed the means to control the creatures, but to imprison them thus is barbaric. I would not wish such a fate upon my worst enemy. 'Tis plain that no love was lost between the Alligans and dragons, but was it truly necessary to keep so great a number here? Dalamud did not want for defenses. This we have experienced firsthand. Such guardians as the Alligans created, both living and unliving, were surely no less capable of repelling intruders than these poor creatures. Tell me something, Alisae. Have you not managed to determine by whose will Bahamut exists? No, I have not. At first I assumed that Bahamut had no people of his own, that the Alligans perhaps discovered a way to simulate prayer itself. However, Nail's words gave me cause to reconsider, specifically the Shade's mention of Bahamut's beloved children. From that I inferred the primal is given form by the will of worshippers whom we have yet to... Oh. God, strike me down for a blind fool. Bahamut's beloved children, right here before my very eyes. How could I be so stupid? Who else but the dragons of Eld would summon Bahamut? Who else but they could sustain him? And to think I wondered why the Alligans kept him imprisoned here. Even should the flame of Bahamut's life go out, his faithful children would summon him back. For this reason, the Allagan Empire kept an army of dragons here in a perpetual state of duress, that they might sustain the primal's existence. Truly, the Allagans' ingenuity knew no bounds, and neither did their cruelty. Small wonder that Bahamut was so enraged. Let no one deny it was man who sowed the seeds of the Calamity. Will you now turn your hatred towards our own kind, dear sister? Do not patronize me, Alphinaud. I merely acknowledge our guilt. Lest you be in any doubt, I have no intention of allowing Bahamut to lay the world to waste, regardless of the atrocities the Alligans committed against his kind. We have no choice but to eliminate all who worship him, be they his children or his thralls. It seems reasonable to assume that the system responsible for the primal's regeneration is also responsible for sustaining the captive dragons. If we disable it, all should perish. Let us press on. Man, that is fucked. Regeneration grid, 6,800 yalms down. Split it up. What do you mean split it up? Oh, split us up? I'll go right. Aha, we're taking out two sides at once. That's good. It's a lock mechanism. I'll take the left. Oh, this is kind of cool. I imagine this was probably also done in the regular raid. Oh, we're at the boss. What in the world is that? Mechanical Hydra? Kalia. Reminds me of Ghidorah from oh my god, I'm dead. Shit. Okay, standing in the green is bad. It reminds me of Mecha Ghidorah from Godzilla. Was he called Mecha Ghidorah? Can't remember. I know there was a Mecha Godzilla. Why, this looks like a model of Dalamud, yes. For millennia, Bahamut must have gazed at this unchanging view, trapped inside a prison that was scarcely large enough to contain him, unable to move, denied the release of death. How his hatred for man must have burned. And that hatred found an ideal vessel in Nail Van Darnus. In many ways, Bahamut is to be pitied, not loathed. But knowing the true extent of his fury, I am more convinced than ever of the necessity of our endeavor. Besides, his is not the only soul that cries out for vengeance. Yeah, the Alligans weren't good people. Here we are. The penultimate fight. After this, we'll be facing Bahamut itself.
Gods, he is almost whole again.
I wouldn't call that almost whole.
His size is staggering. I can scarce imagine how Grandfather stood against such a monstrosity.
This cannot be allowed to proceed any further. Let us disable the coil and move on.
I'm glad that we got the budget back.
Grandfather? No, that man is dead. I will not dishonor my beloved grandsire's memory by calling you such. You are but his twisted shape, the thrall of a mad primal.
God, her voice is so bad.
You were foolish to disregard my warning, child. Are you so convinced of your own righteousness?
'Tis the rightness of our path that led us to return. Eorzea will never be safe whilst Bahamut remains to threaten all we hold dear. What of the hero who gave his life in defense of the realm? Do you truly dispute the justice of our cause?
My poor, ignorant grandchildren. Your world is shaped by naught but recent conflict. Listen, and I will speak to you of justice. 'Twas in the twilight of the Third Astral Era. The southern land of Mericidia suffered invasion at the hands of the Allagan Empire. With no atrocity, too depraved for their purpose, the forces of Allig were unstoppable in their advance. Desperate for salvation, the dragons prayed to one of their first brood, to their ancestor Bahamut. Infused by the power of their fervent supplications, Bahamut arose from the abyss of death and took wing as the Mericidians' new-born god. Yet this great miracle would only serve to further the maniacal designs of the dragon's imperial conquerors. The cruel fetters which bind my lord stand testament to the Allagan's boundless greed and hubris. I once summoned the 12 in an attempt to forestall the advent of the 7th Umbral Era. What then did the dragons of Mericidia do that I did not? Wherefore are they accursed, and I exalted? 'Tis man's overweening belief in his own primacy that blinds him to the commonness of his condition, and the truth of his own tyranny.
He's not wrong.
As long as man is suffered to remain, the dragons shall never be at peace. Only when the plague of people has been expunged shall the children of Lord Bahamut be free. Then shall the world know true justice.
Stop it! Grandfather would never say such things. His belief that people were worth saving never faltered. He had faith in their strength, that they could stand together and push back against the darkness seeking to shape them.
A false hope. 'Tis folly to place one's faith in so flawed a race. Stand together? Huh. They would first need to agree on which direction to face. If history teaches us anything, it is that man cannot find common ground between his own 2 feet. Even you, twins whose veins run with the same blood, struggle to fathom each other's reasoning. You hide your differing agendas behind the convenient banner of Eorzea's salvation. Given your obvious self-interest, can you truly claim no kinship with the Oligarch? And though I hope they might bring you closer, 'twould seem that the twin grimoires I bestowed upon you were a wasted gesture.
There may well be truth in your judgment of Alisae and me, but such a one-sided tirade bemoaning the evils of man rings false, coming from the lips of Archon Louisoix. Tell me, do you champion the cause of dragons because Bahamut compels you as his thrall? Or is it because you yourself have transcended the limits of man's existence?
Ah, so the possibility did not escape your notice. What I prayed for, and what I have become. These are the keys that unlock the truth behind Eorzea's rebirth. If you would have them, then you must needs take them by force. Come, rend this divine form asunder and claim your answers.
But I thought... No. He has become a primal?
It is difficult, I know, but you must accept it. That entity is no phantom or imposter. It is our beloved grandsire.
Please, for his sake and for ours, you must defeat our grandfather.
Don't worry, Louisoix. We're coming to knock you out of the air and make you not a bird anymore. Oh, someone's still watching the cutscene. So yes, Louisoix defeated Bahamut. But in doing so, he became the Primal Phoenix. Why does he seem to worship Bahamut? Perhaps we'll find out. Fire. I only imagine that if we didn't kill the bird, that flame would probably destroy us. Really cool music, too.
Grandfather is truly gone this time, but better it end this way than the alternative.
I am yet here, Alisae, my dear, sweet granddaughter.
Grandfather?
I must thank you, warrior of light. Without your valor, I might never have broken free of Bahamut's control. These last few moments are mine, to live as the man I once was.
This is all that I wanted. Yet, now that it is happening, I find myself struggling to believe it. Is it really you?
Grandfather, pray forgive me my insolence. It was not my intent to demean you.
Forgive you? I am proud of you, child. You were wise enough to deduce the manner of creature I had become. Alphinaud, Alisae, if any here should beg forgiveness, it is I.
Grandfather, I must ask, will you not tell us what befell during the Calamity?
Yes, yes, of course. You have come far to hear the truth. Let us then begin the tale at the Battle of Carteneau, where clashed the forces of the Garlean Empire and the Eorzean Alliance. 'Twas there in the sky above the surging armies that the elder primal Bahamut broke free of the Red Moon Dalamut. In an effort to contain this avatar of destruction, I called upon the 12 to aid me in the creation of a prison of ether. But Bahamut would not be caged by such feeble bars. Too vast was his might, too fierce his rage. Little choice remained to me. I used the last of my strength to entrust our hope unto the future, and prepared to meet my end.
Such an awesome cutscene.
As you have no doubt surmised, I did not perish. When the cage built from the essences of the 12 was destroyed, the sky was filled with a colossal cloud of ether. This drifting energy responded to the prayers of those fighting below, and to my own desperate wish that the dying realm be saved by infusing me with the power of a primal. I became the immortal phoenix, ancient symbol of rebirth. Rising into the sky, I struck Bahamut with all my newfound strength. The blow shattered his earthly form, and a shower of ether rained down upon the land. Thus began the rejuvenation of Eorzea. Believing the deed done, I relinquished my hold on that staggering energy, desirous that it should be returned to the realm without delay. But I had not reckoned on Bahamut's tenacious will. Even as he teetered upon the cusp of oblivion, the dragon reached out to claim me. Alas, within my fast fading form, enough remained of the Phoenix's energy to offer Bahamut a hold, and he dragged me along in his wake.
And thus began your existence as the Elder Primal's thrall.
I cannot help but wonder at his will to survive. Though he was all but obliterated, Bahamut found a way to seize the power you surrendered. That would explain why part of his physical form survived to be entombed underground.
It would also explain why Eorzea was so terribly warped. Even as the land sought to restore itself, the returning flow of ether was cut off.
Very good. When his grip on existence was once again secured, Bahamut did not cease his feast until he had consumed every last mote of ether that yet floated in the air.
And still he was not fully restored.
You must remember that by this time, much of the freed ether had already returned to the land. That which remained was not sufficient to reconstruct so massive a form in its entirety. But there did not need to be. Not for a being sustained by the marvels of Allagan technology. As long as some piece of Bahamut persists, the Coils will seek it out and continue their regenerative task. The fragments of Bahamut appear motionless from the surface, but deep beneath the ground, they had been searching, tunneling through rock and soil towards their escaped prisoner. And, as you have observed for yourselves, they found his heart. Warrior of Light, heed me. You must put a stop to Bahamut's regeneration. Whether it be for man or for dragonkind. The question of justice is irrelevant. The Elder Primal will leave naught but a smoldering wasteland for both his children and ours. I beg you to defend Eorzea and guide its people to the future they yet struggle to find. This portal will take you to the final internment hulk. 'Tis time for the tale of Bahamut and his part in the Calamity to come to an end. Alphinaud, Alisae, pray, come closer. Your hopes and dreams must no longer be an extension of mine. You must needs find your own reason to fight for this realm, your own meaning in this sea of chaos. Will you do that for me?
Of course, Grandfather. I have already made it my mission to see this newborn Eorzea survive and flourish.
Alisae, while I was yet enthralled to Bahamut, you spoke of my faith in man's strength. Know that your words reached me, imprisoned though my soul still was. So forceful was your conviction, I wonder if that belief has not become your own. Perhaps, after all your anger and sorrow was spent, you found something greater within you. See this fight to its culmination. 'Tis also your strength in which I have faith.
Thank you for everything. Pray, take your rest, Grandfather. You deserve it.
There are records of an art that allowed one to summon the power of a primal from the essence of its demise. And though I am no true primal, all that I have left, I give to you. Alphinaud, Alisae. My darling grandchildren. May Light's blessings ever keep and protect you.
Come, warrior of light. Our task remains undone.
The Burning Heart. One final coil remains. One final thing keeping Bahamut tied to this world.
'Twas a long and arduous road, but at last we reach its end. Farewell, Bahamut. I banish you back to the ether. He is not yet whole. I did not think him capable.
Oh boy.
Alisae! Alisae!
I had thought it finally over. I will not survive another blast. No. Is this how I honor my promise to grandfather?
You must needs find your own reason to fight for this realm. Your own meaning in this sea of chaos. Will you do that for me?
I will, grandfather. In fact, I believe I already have. That reason has been with me all along, guiding me. Eorzea's blade of light, shearing through endless shrouds of darkness. I have been shown the miraculous feats of which we are all capable, of which I am capable. Bahamut, you have wreaked enough havoc. I will not let your wrathful fires consume all that we know and love.
How long I have waited to hear you say that! You have found your resolve at last! Let me join my strength to yours. In this place, in this moment, our purpose has become one.
Well, that's interesting.
For the future of Eorzea!
This last task is yours, Warrior of Light. You must destroy Bahamut's crystal core.
Here we go. Inside the very soul of Bahamut himself. Here we go. This is such an awesome fight. I've watched videos of it with this song playing in the background. Oh. Well, I figured that would kill me. Anymore. I'm sure it's supposed to take us a while. Is it gonna wait until the song peaks? Nope. comes again. Uh-oh. Ooh. Ah, come on. And that's it. It's a shame that we don't get to see more of it, but that's it. I don't know if anybody who took part in this will ever watch this video, but thank you all. Thank you all so much. And I really appreciate your patience. You're all awesome. Wow, there's even loot. Not for me. Pass, pass. Greed, greed, and greed.
You did it!
But I wasn't alone.
But one task remains.
Pull the plug.
With this last coil disabled, there shall be naught left to bind Bahamut to this world. His beloved children will finally know peace. "'Tis done. He is truly gone." You knew, didn't you? You knew what Grandfather had become.
I was not certain, but from all I had gleaned, it seemed a distinct possibility. The scene people describe of the Battle of Carteneau was one of unimaginable devastation, and 'tis through the combined prayers of the desperate and an abundant source of ether that primals are born. I merely put two and two together.
And you consider that a sufficient explanation? Well, however you stumbled across your theory, 'twas this revelation that made you wary of my attachment to Grandfather. You feared that in my obsession, I would fall under his primal sway. Is that why you decided to join us? To pull me back should I show signs of wavering?
Pray forgive me, sister. I wished only to protect you. Yet I see now that I needn't have doubted the strength of your conviction. May I ask you a question? What do you now intend to do with the truth you have uncovered?
I got an item.
Which particular truth was that, brother? The fact that desperate prayer gave rise to the primal phoenix? That this new god was responsible for setting Eorzea on the path to rebirth? Should such a tale become common knowledge, people would soon offer up their prayers in earnest. They would beseech Phoenix to complete the healing that was begun.
Yet as you and I know all too well, the very act of calling forth this savior would do more harm to the land than good. We cannot encourage such worship for this very reason. Were Grandfather forced to return as an ether-draining primal, it would undo all that he had worked to protect. Your abiding love for him was the key that unlocked the truth of the Calamity. But keys may also serve to seal doors that were best left unopened. Let your love now guide your actions, and lock away deep inside the fate of both Grandfather and Bahamut.
Fear not, Alphinaud. I understand what must be done. The realm need not know the truth for it to be saved. That the Elder Primal is banished, to return no more. That is enough. Let us make our way back to the surface. Poor Oriange must be beside himself with worry.
Alright. Alphinaud? In spite of your presence, I must confess that there were moments when I feared the worst, but in the end you plucked us from the flames and bore us safe unto victory, just as you always have. As for Alisae, I have never been more proud to call her my sister. And here we are again. After that descent into darkness, the isolation of northern Thanalan seems paradisal. As promised, I shan't reveal the truth of the Calamity to a single soul. However, the nations of Eorzea will require certain assurances that the threat of the new primal is gone. Kept in the dark over long, 'tis only a matter of time before they seek answers of their own accord. Let us recommend that the fragments of Bahamut are sealed off, that the truth may rest undisturbed. But first, we must go and report to Oriange. It would not do to keep him in suspense. I dare say we'll find him pacing up and down at the ceruleum processing plant. I'd say that's a fair assumption. Ah, the warrior of light returneth undimmed from the depths of darkness. By thy triumphant bearing, I take it thou hast succeeded in thy mission, and yet thou art alone. Mistake me not, dear friend, full glad am I of thy safe return. But where, pray, are Master Alphinaud and Mistress Alisae? Here, my friend, forgive us our lateness, we took the scenic route. Bahamut is no more, the realm is safe. By the heavens, look at you! What horrors your young eyes must have seen! What suffering your young bodies must have borne! Pray tell me, where are you hurt? Your wounds must needs be cleansed and dressed at once. I shall make for you a poultice which draweth out. Be at ease, my friend. We are hale and whole, I assure you. We took a few tumbles, but the worst of our hurts are healed. I believe we have grandfather to thank for that. Master Louis Soir? Then you met with him once more. But wherefore should Bahamut's thralls seek to ease your suffering? I promise to reveal all to you in due course, dear friend. But first there is a matter which requires our immediate attention. Now that Bahamut is defeated, we deem it best to bar entry to all of the fragments of Dalamud. To this end, we will convince the nation's leaders that the danger is past, and invite their cooperation in ensuring that the fragments are never again disturbed. Come, let us depart and seek an audience with them forthwith. A moment, sister. You need not burden yourself with this task. Urianger and I will more than suffice. Might you not take this opportunity to rest? The gods know you have earned it. But I am fine, brother. Besides, you've been through as much as I have. Oh, I see now. You would play your game of diplomacy and wish me out of the way. No, naught could be further from the truth, Alisae. My lady, 'tis mine earnest belief that your brother hath the best interests at heart. You have more than done your part, and he desireth but to relieve you of a burden he might easily bear alone. I have some experience treating with dignitaries, you must allow, and as you never fail to remind me of my fondness for diplomacy, I feel it only right that I remind you of your aversion to it. Then it is settled, Urianger. Pray make arrangements for a chocobo carriage. The ride should give us ample time to prepare our story. Alphinaud! Though our paths are different, we share the same goal, do we not? But of course, dear sister, that which we have just achieved together stands as testament to that fact. Whatever path we choose to take, our hearts shall ever lead us to the same end. Of that I am certain. Thank you. There is a place that I would visit. Might I ask you to accompany me? No, cat, do not come up on my lap right now. But first, I do believe a change of garments is in order. I won't take a moment. No, cat, get down! The landscape is the same. Of course, there is no reason it would be otherwise. Though it would be poetic for the fragments to magically disappear, I am well aware that they should remain long after you and I are gone. The world may change irrevocably, but life shall ever go on. Let us take a closer look, shall we? I have no doubt that Alphinaud will do an admirable job concealing the truth of the Calamity. And such truths as were revealed in those dark depths will never see the light of day. I myself agreed that it must be so. The thought that the people of Eorzea shall forever remain ignorant of their savior, of your deeds, the injustice of it is almost too much for me to bear. How typical of you, Foxy. Ever the heroine. Even so, I cannot deny that I feel better for your reassurance. But I want you to know that I will never forget. You are the one who freed Grandfather's soul and saved Eorzea from Bahamut's wrath. And now I'm saying it like they do. I say Bahamut, they say Bahamut, whatever. And though these great deeds will never be remembered in song, their consequences will be felt forevermore by every soul who calls this realm home. That'll be enough for me. Yes, this spot will do. For Grandfather, Nael, and the dragons of Mericidia, for all those who were taken by the Calamity. At long last our struggle with Bahamut is over. The realm, given new life through the prayers and sacrifices of countless souls, may look to a brighter tomorrow. When the dust of our adventure has settled, I shall embark on a journey. I mean to find my own reason to fight for Eorzea. And when I do, I will fight with all my being. You have done so much for me, Foxy. One day I hope to be able to repay you in kind. I have no doubt but that you will continue to help those in need and grow ever stronger in doing so. I shall endeavor to do the same. And if the 12 are kind, I hope one day to become Eorzea's sword in the darkness, as you are. Come what may, you may rest assured that I will not be outdone by Alphinaud. When next we meet, I promise that I will not disappoint you. Till that day, fare you well, my friend, and thank you from the bottom of my heart.